So since I've been geeking out and having you guys download my happiness cheat sheet from our little Awaken the Rebel Facebook group, let's start with gratitude. Gratitude is one of the top science-based items in life that will actually help you feel happy. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for saying what's up. Helping me not feel alone. I'll take it, girl. I will take it all day. I see Tina. I see Cindy. All right, ladies, I'm going to start with what I'm grateful for. I am so grateful for you being here. I am so grateful for this moment in time where I get to connect with amazing women. One of my favorite things to do. Just a reminder to you guys, when you do chat, make sure it says that it's like to all panelists and attendees. Okay, I like it. We got Kelly, Tina, Cindy. All right, y'all, it's happening. So yeah, when you chat, make sure that it's on the all panelists and attendees setting so that everyone sees it. Hi, Cynthia, what's up? Okay, you guys, I'm so excited. You know, I feel like we're naughty, just getting a moment of time in together before the debate. So much fun. I'll take it. I would love it if you guys would chat me a few things you're grateful for to get this party started. Gratitude is one of the science-based things in life that helps us all increase our levels of happiness. Oh my gosh, Richard, you're grateful for me. I love you so much. Oh, Tina's grateful for her fur babies. Yes, I love that. Oh my goodness, you guys are the best. Okay, so I'm just going to get this party started because y'all are on time. And I just want to honor you for being on time. Something I personally struggle with terribly. But alas, I'm trying to be better. Okay, so today we are talking about the 5 steps to find your happy and feel empowered, even during COVID, regardless of circumstances. And so I just want to welcome you to Revolutionary Woman. This is probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my entire business. So thank you for being here. I am your host tonight, Shireen Thor. I'm an executive coach, founder of Awaken the Rebel, which is a coaching company that helps women stop settling for less so that they can live their purpose and design a life that they love. I'm a first-gen American. So my mom and dad immigrated here from Egypt, and I was a little American-born Egyptian girl. Early on, they made it super obvious that I was supposed to become a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, because as many of us know, I'm sure you guys might know this, hit me in the chat if you do, parents often only offer one type of love, and it's the conditional kind. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hell yeah? Anybody? So, it's just that vibe of do what I say, be who I want you to be, and then you will gain my approval. Is anybody else feeling that? Or was it really just me who had that experience? Thank you, ladies. All right. So regardless of that being the start, I was still able to awaken my inner rebel in order to find my own path and design this juicy little life that I love. And so I'm a living example of someone who has done it. And so what I want to do today is show you how you can also rebel in the direction of your dreams, even if other people don't approve, and how you can thrive in your life regardless of circumstances. So over the next hour, I'm going to show you the 5 steps to find your happy and feel empowered, even during COVID, especially during COVID, damn it, because, as many of you may feel, this has kind of forced us all to slow down, and it's offered a lot of us an opportunity to reflect on our lives, sort of how we're living, and if we want to keep living that way or if we want to pivot. Hit me in the chat if any of you have had those like come to Jesus moments with yourself where you're like, who am I? What am I doing in life right now as a result of this wild year? I imagine it's probably some of those thoughts that kind of led you to come to this workshop. No matter what you're facing, I want you to know that you can still feel happy and empowered, even if you're in a crisis. And let me tell you, when you're in a crisis, these skills of self-regulation and coping like a boss, they come in very handy so that you don't crumble. So regardless of what life is throwing at you, you can still function as optimally as possible. Yeah, Cindy, I hear you, girl. I've been pivoting too. I think a lot of us are. Because your strength and stability comes from inside. I think that's really like one of the main things I am trying to teach tonight is that happiness is an inside game. Ooh, interesting. So Lynn says she knows her mission, but fear is a big block. Ooh, wait. Thank you for being so honest. I'm loving the chat already. My goodness. That's so true. You got to be your biggest cheerleader, 100%, Richard. So, I've had those moments of crisis before where, I was like younger, 17 years old, and my dad passed away, and I had literally zero coping mechanisms and no idea how to deal with the emotions or how to manage myself. And then I've also had those really tough moments of crisis as an empowered woman who understands how to manage and modulate myself. And that has really made all the difference, not only to cope with crisis, but also to navigate my own path and purpose and pave the road towards my dreams. So I want to make sure you guys stay till the end for this super special bonus. It is, it's basically called the Revolutionary Leader, and it's a customized tool that will help you create a new personal contract with yourself. I actually did it with Richard before. Richard, you know all about this tool where I help you create a personal contract to support you in higher levels of self-confidence, courage, and taking aligned action in your life. It'll help you feel clear about who you are when you have those moments of feeling lost. It'll help you cultivate a confidence so that you need by building your self-esteem, and it'll help you see yourself in a new way and build that personal power. It will also help you remember what you're up to moment by moment as you navigate this wild thing we call life, and it will literally revolutionize your life if you let it. But more than anything, it'll really help you step up and step into your leadership of yourself, your life, and that inevitably has a ripple effect and inspires others as a result. So it's kind of like leadership from the inside out. Clearly, that's my jam, y'all. I just want everyone to be empowered from the inside out. Can I get it? Amen. Anybody? Okay, I'll stop. All right. So this tool is actually something I learned when I was in a majorly critical phase of my life where I was going from being sort of the good girl that I thought everyone wanted me to be to becoming the truth of who I actually am. I had an amazing tribe, similar to the one that we have in my mastermind program. And they supported me with the help of a coach to turn my limiting beliefs into a beautiful contract that was unique to me. Do you guys want to hear it? Do you want to hear my contract? Richard, do you want to share your contract in the chat? They're so juicy. All right. I am going to tell you. Here's my contract. You guys ready? I'm going to just wait for your hair to blow back right now. I am a hot, deserving, responsible leader, enthusiastically accepting love and success in my life now. So this is just sort of like a personal mantra to live by. And at first, when I used the tool, honestly, I felt like I didn't measure up. I felt kind of silly saying it out loud in front of people. I was like, please don't make me say that. But eventually, I owned it. I owned that contract. And it marked a turning point in my life that really honestly changed everything. So that's a special bonus for you. Stick around until the end so that you can get your own personal contract too. Meow. All right. So this is who this training is for. It is for women and humans. Thank you, Richard, for being with us, darling. Women who want more happiness. And honestly, there's really so many things that go into that. It's not like, it's not a cookie cutter jam. You might feel more happy if you felt more empowered in your life. You might feel more happy and empowered if you had more money. You might want more time freedom, a higher quality of relationships and connection. You might want to feel more fulfilled by the meaningful work you do in the world. Yes, all of the above. Yes, I agree. I love it. You guys are so funny in the chat. You might want to have more peace of mind, like that thing we talked about earlier, where you feel like you can weather any storm because your peace comes from within. You might want more autonomy, to make your own decisions. You might want to have more power or more influence so that you know that you can impact the things that matter to you, right? Like maybe you can influence your community and donate to a charity that matters to you. Maybe you could influence the election and really make a difference in that way. So if those are some of the things that you want, you know you're in the right place. And you also might just want to be surrounded by a bunch of badass women. That's probably another reason that you're here. You are also likely a professional who's looking to feel more filled up in your life. So over the years, I've kind of learned that there are two types of women who come to me for coaching: the people pleasers and the overachievers. So I'm just going to describe them both. And I want to hear from y'all. Which one do you resonate with more? Let's get real. Okay. No need for a little mask today. Okay. We're doing the thing where we take off the masks and we're getting super honest so that we can actually move our lives forward. So the people pleasers typically have a stable job, but secretly have a passion project that they are not giving themselves permission to take action on. Those women usually have a sense of disempowerment in their work life, sort of feeling undervalued and just professionally disempowered in general. They also tend to have a deep sense of disappointment with how their relationships have gone up to this point based on the men that they choose, and they don't really feel like the people that they date truly care about them. And they keep attracting the same type of partner, so it sort of feels never ending. At this point, they might even actually be sort of having a crisis of a faith in humanity, like just kind of feeling like people don't care about them as much as they care about people. And so there's kind of like a bit of depression that sets in. And I have definitely felt this pain, y'all. You are not alone. You are in good company. This is definitely an earlier version of me, no doubt. So if you feel that is you, then you are in the right place. The overachievers are typically in a high-powered or high-paying job, and their relationships, sort of from the outside looking in, seem very much intact. And but on the inside, like, and even their career seems very much intact, but on the inside they feel extremely burnt out and way too overworked. So all the external structures are in place, so they quote unquote should be happy, but they are not. They suffer inside this sort of high-powered life, craving creativity or the opportunity to write the book they've always dreamed of, or to go back to school. And their relationships are also typically sort of off balance in a similar way. Maybe they neglect their partner in favor of work, or they feel like the partner in the relationship, they're basically overworking and almost taking on too much responsibility in the relationship. And so they don't feel sort of met. They don't feel emotionally met. They feel like they have to do a bulk of the work even at home. So if this is you, you are in the right place. Which one are you, y'all? Come on. The people pleaser or the overachiever? I want to hear. Fess up. No, I'm just kidding. Lynn says the people pleaser. Oh my gosh. Yes. Especially the passion and the mission part. Oh my goodness. I have so many clients who experience this. It's so crazy. And I definitely experienced this at one point when I did not think it was okay for me to even think about being an entrepreneur 100%. And so what I'm going to talk about today applies to both scenarios. So this training is for you if you want to start making decisions that honor you and others' needs. You might sort of like naturally default into tuning into what other people need and immediately react to those needs. And you want to feel like your life is more balanced and like you're actually part of the equation. Wouldn't that be nice? You might also really want to make a positive impact in the world. And so you'd like to be more empowered and self-expressed in order to do so. And let's be honest, like you just freaking want to fulfill your potential, to fulfill your purpose. You know there's something more meant for you than the current circumstances in your life reflect. And there's that wise woman inside of you that really craves more than you currently have, more than you have currently settled for, just more. And that's okay too. I just want you to know I honor your ambition. I honor the part of you that wants more. And I know I am speaking to your inner wise woman as we go through this training. She a bad bitch, okay? She bad. And we want to bring her more out into the forefront so that she has space to take the stage the way she wants to, the way she has always known she was meant to. And I am here for it, y'all. I am so here for it. Okay, so I'm going to share my framework with you. This is what's up. These are the 3 steps you need to take in order to have that swagger that that top emoji has. So first you need to break the rules. And what that really means is bust through, unsubscribe from, just do you, right? So like there's a lot of rules and limitations and expectations and noise that like family, society, culture put on us. And the first step to having the sunglasses emoji swagger is breaking the rules. Second step is live your purpose. And so this could look like a billion different things. That this is why I can't say that I'm a help you make money coach or a be an entrepreneur coach or a relationship coach, because the truth is I am a life purpose coach. I want to help you live your purpose. I don't know what your purpose is until I meet you, boo. I got to hear you talk. I got to hear what lights you up. Like I can't pick, y'all. I can't pick, because honestly, it's really the most important to me that people are truly living out their unique talents, gifts, and skills that they are meant to do in their life and to serve humanity with. And for me to support someone in that, I need to listen. So the second thing you need to do is live your purpose. For me, that did look like creative entrepreneurship. At first, I started doing stand-up comedy, and then I moved into being more of a coach and an entrepreneur. So live your purpose might look very different for you. And honestly, I have no qualms. You choose whatever route works for you. As long as you're living your purpose, I'm stoked. Okay, step 3, design a life you love. And so this is kind of where you've broken through the rules. You are expressing your unique talents and gifts in the world. And now we want to bring in your strategy game in terms of like, what is the lifestyle you want? Like, one of the reasons I knew I couldn't truly be a stand-up comedian is because I knew I didn't want to tour. I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to perform on New Year's. I want to be like chilling with my homies on New Year's. Like, I don't want to be traveling like most of the time to make my money. Like, I want to be like kicking it with my peoples, like in my hood. So I just knew in order for me to design a life I really love, that like that quintessential comedian career likely wasn't it for me. And so that was part of the reason that I decided, hey, like I think I got to pivot here. This doesn't actually fit the life I truly will feel happy in, alive in, lit up in, and will really fit my needs. I'm also a ridiculous morning person. Like, I wake up at the crack of dawn and I go to sleep really freaking early. So staying out all night at clubs, I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. And so just to describe these delicious emojis, this little angel one is you being connected to source and service. This little heart one is you having designed this life that you love. And then the sunglasses on top, because when you do all those things, boo, you got swagger for days. And that's what I want for you. I want you to have that like bad bitch swagger where you just know you are it. You know you're friggin' doing it. You know you're friggin' living it. You don't need permission. You are just like rocking your life. Okay. So, like, yeah, sunglasses emoji for days, y'all. That's what it's all about. Okay, now here are the 9 steps to get to the sunglasses emoji. And I will teach you 5 of them today, though obviously there's 9. But hey, what are we gonna do? Like, it was literally hard for me even just to pick 5. Like, my coach told me I'm supposed to only do 3, but I could not, y'all. I needed to at least do 5. So here we are. So the first one is Awaken the Rebel. We'll talk about that. The second one is be the female king. So just kind of tapping into your own sense of autonomy. Third one is to stop keeping up with the Joneses, right? So breaking those rules, unsubscribing from things that don't really fit. The fourth one is to rock your gifts. Fifth one is to ditch people pleasing. Sixth one is to fight like a queen. So advocating for yourself and boundaries and conflict and all that juicy stuff. Seventh one is giving yourself permission to fuck up. Yes, I did just say the F word on this training. Anyone excited about that? Do I have any rebels in the chat who are stoked? Just want to chat the F word? Do it. All right. Number 8, design like a boss. And that's where you bring in that strategy brain. Thank you. All right. Got a few F words coming in the chat. I like it. You guys are so cute. Oh man, this is good. And then the 9th one is be revolutionary. And we will learn more about that today. So here we go. A little bit about me, y'all. A little bit about me. Um, so I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years. It's been lovely. I am a wife and mother of 2. So if anyone was planning on using their children as an excuse, not gonna work. Okay. I started in stand-up, as I mentioned, and then kind of moved into coaching, which is really funny and weird, but hey, everyone has their path, you guys, and sometimes it is not a straight line. Actually, most of the time it's not a straight line. I have been a coach for over 10 years. I am an author and a podcast host. My book, Revolutionary Woman, is coming out next year. I'm very excited about it. And I host the Awaken the Rebel podcast. I came from a broken home, had parents who did not support my creative entrepreneurship, like not even a little bit. I was definitely expected to be that doctor, lawyer, engineer. I've had plenty of dark times, y'all. Plenty of dark times, okay? Like I didn't come from the white picket fence that we all envision. My dad and mom, they divorced when I was 1. So I come, unfortunately, from a broken home and, kind of a dark one. My dad was physically abusive towards my mom, and that's really what ended up sort of ending their relationship. My mom, God bless her soul, wasn't the most emotionally in tune. And so my sensitive ass got squashed yet again. My first job out of college, I was sexually harassed. I've been broke and in debt. I mean, it has been dirty. After I had my first kid, I had the gnarliest postpartum depression to the point of having suicidal thoughts. And somehow I am still able to kind of be in this place where I created that sense of empowerment for myself. I found my happy path and I designed this life that I am so wildly obsessed with. And so I just want to share with you, like, if I can do it, you can do it too. This life expresses my unique gifts and talents in a way that honors my soul's desire for creativity, provides the opportunity for as much wealth as I decide to attain. It has room for me, my needs, the desire, like the type of quality of life and relationship and connection I want to have. And so, there's always going to be struggle along the way. That's just life. But it'll be truly worth it when you love that life you live, rather than feeling like you're in a version of life that just does not work for you. Yes, thank you for saying that. That's what I'm trying to do here, girl. I'm trying to relate. All right, y'all are getting it in the chat. I mean, I don't want to depress you with my suicidal postpartum depression thoughts. But that is exactly what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to share. I'm not this person because I had it easy. I am this person because I was relentless in my pursuit of what I knew was possible. And so, again, if I can do it, you can do it too. I also desperately love being in the outdoors, like in a ridiculous way. I think I was probably a gypsy in a past life. I'm not sure. I love listening to good music, riding my Vespa, and basically doing anything that gives me a sense of freedom. Delicious. Okay. So let's do a little before and after. You guys ready for this? Here's the before. So this first picture on the left is me, first of all, in college, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, had a bomb ass hairdo, but I, at that point in my life, was very much subscribing to the supposed to's. I secretly wanted to major in philosophy or dance, but didn't, because I didn't want my mom to be worried about her broke artist daughter. And so I chose sort of like a normal route and majored in communications. The second picture over, actually, the second 2 are right around the same time period, where I was a new mom and a new entrepreneur. This is definitely the postpartum depressed phase. And, certainly there are chemical and hormonal aspects to that. And I can also tell you that I was very low on my own list of priorities. When you look at this woman in these pictures, she is a person who put her baby first, her husband second, her business third, and herself fourth. And that is one of the reasons that I had postpartum depression, not for a very small period of time, like most women get the baby blues, whatever. No, I was freaking depressed and unwell for 9 months. And I was neglecting myself so much that it just lasted and lasted and lasted and lasted until I finally had to have an intervention from my husband and finally start to prioritize myself and rehabilitate my life. And part of rehabilitating my life was focusing on happiness. So that's her. And then this woman all the way over to the right. Okay, she ain't depressed no more. She's lost some baby weight. She back, you know? She's back. But she is doing her business in the way of the supposed to's. She is thinking like, oh, well, I'm going to do my business the way everyone else does it. I'm going to try and do this like seminar, right? Like I'm going to be like Tony Robbins. That's going to make sense to me. So even though I had rehabilitated myself and I came back and all the things were good, I was still expressing my talents in a way that actually wasn't truly self-honoring. Okay, here's the after. Do you see it? Do you see that glow up is real? Do you see it? Anybody in the chat? Does this look glowed up? Are you feeling it? Is it just me? So here is me and many things. Obviously, I see a lot of pictures here after revolutionizing my life. Thank you for saying that. You guys are so sweet. Now, there's this life that actually fits me. There is room for my creativity. There is room for my needs. If someone wants something from me and I got no gas in the tank, I'd be like, no, boo-boo, no can do. I have limits and I honor those limits. That girl you saw in those postpartum depression pictures, she just thought she had to do everything for everyone whenever they needed it and really did not add herself into the equation. And ooh, she was burnt. She was burnt real bad. So now I don't feel guilty saying no. I don't hem and haw about saying no. I just give myself permission to take as much space up as I need to feel happy and empowered in my own life. I make more money. I hold myself in higher esteem. I feel empowered in my life. And as a result, I inevitably empower others. So this is why empowerment and happiness are sort of prerequisites to fulfilling your purpose. You really actually cannot fulfill your purpose if you won't even listen to your own inner voice. Does anyone feel that? How do you guys feel about that? And when you become happy and empowered, you kind of can't help but listen to your inner voice because it continues to feed your happiness. And your empoweredness, if that's a word. So once you unlock your empowerment within, you inevitably find you're happy and live out your higher calling. It's just like this lovely circle of life, y'all. And you can kind of see the difference. You can see that there's so much more color and joy in this version of life. The glow up is real. And not only do I benefit from it, but now my husband benefits from it. My children benefit from it. My friends and extended family benefit, my clients benefit. And so, don't think that this is selfish work. This is not really only for you. The world needs people who are truly lit up like this so that they can light up some of these dark ass nights we be having. You know what I'm talking about? This is weird times, okay? Debates tonight. The country is in like crazy unrest. The whole world is waiting to see what happens with our election. COVID's got us all messed up for over 6 months. That bitch just won't go away. Oh my gosh. We definitely need people who are bringing that energy of like joy, happiness, empowerment, and answering their higher calling into our world right now, because we're in a little bit of a dark night of the soul, guys. We really are. Okay. I didn't have parents who believed in me, a rich husband, tons of free time, endless energy, and no responsibility. I had kids, I had bills, I had all the things, okay? But what I did have was a burning desire to fulfill my purpose and my potential. The way I grew up, honestly, I should have been a desk worker my whole life, not super lit up, not super creative, not alive in any big way, just stable and safe, fitting in with the crowd, being a good, dutiful, religious Egyptian. So I just got to say, like, whatever the proverbial they want from you, I'm just going to say right now, who gives a shit? Okay. It's all about you and what you want. You get to decide what you will do with this one precious life. So I want to ask you, tell me, y'all, do you have a burning desire to fulfill your purpose and potential? Oh, I will stay awkwardly silent because I need you to answer this question. I am that weird. This is what happens when a comedian becomes a coach. Thank you. We got a hell yes. That's what I'm waiting for. Yes. Yes. Okay. I like it. Thank you so much. I would have waited forever and it would have been real weird. So you saved us. Oh my gosh. So yes, I know you people want it. I know you ladies want it, because really, like, otherwise, why would you be here? The truth is sometimes we are unhappy because we are meant for something more. By society's standards, I should have been happy right? Like I had a college degree, I had a full-time job, I owned a home. All I needed was like the husband and the babies, check, check, and I would have had that quintessential American dream. Thank you. Oh, yes. And you're getting more desperate the longer it goes, right? It's, oh my gosh, so true. I felt that too. Yeah, like sometimes even when you have that life, you're still deeply unhappy. And sometimes our unhappiness is just an indicator that we need or desire more. And so it's important for you and me and really all of us to honor our feelings, because those feelings are often our biggest navigation system towards the life of our dreams. You know what I mean? Like I feel like in our society we want to suppress emotions and like, oh, it's not okay, and like, you know, brush it under the rug and don't be that girl. And it's like, I'm telling you right now, no, be that girl. No, like rage or cry or have all the freaking feelings, because those feelings are your heart. You know, I just saw this quote today that said words are the language of the heart, and I was like, yes, yes they are. Oh my goodness. And I was thinking about tonight with you guys. I was like, yeah, I'm going to share my heart tonight. It's kind of deep, right? Okay, so here we go. The 5 steps to find your happy and feel empowered regardless of COVID or any other circumstance. So today we're going to go over the 5. Awaken the rebel, be the female king, stop keeping up with the Joneses, fight like a queen, be revolutionary. I am going to do my best, you guys, to like be succinct, but I just have so much I want to share. It's hard. That's it. I just wanted to share. It's hard. All right. So what it means to awaken the rebel is to disrupt the current system. This is necessary if the current system we are operating under does not support our highest good. And when I say highest good, I mean our happiness, our health, our empowerment, our purpose, our quality of life, right? Like I was just talking to a client today, and he was he's always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like that's his dream. And yet, same as me, he was raised by immigrant parents who have sort of like shoved this stable employee message down his throat, right? So he got a job offer, and it's a full-time job, but they offered him independent contractor status. And he was like, oh no, I wanted W-2. And I was like, but boo, you've been telling me you wanted to be a business owner for like the whole 6 months we've been coaching together. So like, this is kind of great. You can start your business and have this be your first client. Like, are you kidding me? With like a full-time salary, there's nothing better than this. Now this kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Now you don't have to have your full-time job and your side hustle as a business. Now your full-time job is your business, and you can just start really building. And you know, we went through it together and just talked about it a lot. And I feel like sometimes it's just so scary to disrupt the current system. It's so scary. And yet we really need to. Like, one thing that came out of that conversation was I said, okay, like I know, you know, part of you feels irresponsible doing this, like you're judging yourself for being irresponsible if you do this, but how is this good for your family? And so he starts to like think about how it's good for the family. And he basically says, well, it would ultimately lead me to be more happy and fulfilled, which actually might be better for my family than me just providing security. And I was like, boom, yes, drop the mic, bro, because that's it. That is it. Like sometimes we're so tuned into surviving, we forget that there's an option for thriving. And so I am sharing with you right now that awakening the rebel means to disrupt any system in your life that does not support your highest good. I did this personally when I rebelled against a 9-to-5. Felt like I was dying in a freaking desk job. And I ran off to start stand-up comedy, which ultimately was sort of the beginning of me going, like transitioning from employee to entrepreneur, right? I also did this as a new mom, where I rebelled against that sort of martyr mother archetype that women are expected to fall under. And I was like, no, I get to still love my life as a mom. I'm gonna buy a Vespa. I'm gonna enjoy my life. Like, I know that sounds irrational and irresponsible and all the things. And yet I know that I will die in this life if I don't take action on the things that I truly want. And then I also did this as an entrepreneur who didn't really buy into that like crazy hustle mentality, you know, where like success is everything and like, oh, money's no, I want to be happy, y'all. So like, how can I build a business where I get to be happy? That's my priority, you know? And success will come. Actually, research says that happy people are more successful. So oftentimes we're taught like success, if you get successful, then you'll be happy. No, I'm telling you right now, the research says if you get happy, then you'll get successful. Okay. So that is what Awaken the Rebel means. Okay, man, this is like the hard part. All right, here we go. Queens living like servants. No. All right, so under our current system, so just addressing our current system that we might want to disrupt, we are all queens living like servants. To your conscious mind, the statement may seem dramatic. To your unconscious mind, it might ring true. Your conscious mind is the thinking mind, the one that holds all of our conditioning, you know, the patriarchy, society, all the things. Thank you, Lynn. I'll take that. Yes. Your unconscious mind is the feeling part of you, the one that can be likened to a 5 or 6-year-old child who's really all emotion. She knows this shit's fucked up. She feels this shit's fucked up and she wants to disrupt the system. And I'm imagining that is the part of you guys that decided to join tonight. So do any of you feel that? Are any of you feeling that? Is the system fucked up to y'all? Holler. Okay. So some disturbing statistics. This is why this is the hard part. It's like the unfun part of the training. Thank you. You bet, she says. I'll take it. Oh, yeah, Cynthia. Keep it coming, you guys. I definitely get lit by seeing the chat. So feel free to like go crazy in the chat here. Like, don't be shy. Really. Come on now. I'm sharing my heart with you people. I'm just kidding. All right. So 80% of American workers are stressed out. 50% are burnt out. There are 120,000 preventable deaths a year due to stress. The number one regret of the dying. There is a woman named Bronnie Ware who was a hospice nurse. And so she like sat by people while they were on their deathbeds, like over and over and over and over again. And she wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And the number one regret, Albany, ooh, girl, I'm going to speak. Thank you. The number one regret is I wish I would have had the courage to live a life that was true to myself instead of the life that others expected of me. And that's exactly what we're talking about tonight, right? Like really disrupting the systems that we subscribe to, what other people expect of you, and just going by those rules when secretly you're not happy. So please don't get to your deathbed and have that regret. Please allow this training to inspire you to disrupt whatever systems are not in your highest good and change the course of your life. If there's anything we get out of this weird ass COVID situation, is an opportunity to recalibrate and percolate and pivot if we decide that's what we want to do. Okay, more disturbing statistics. If a woman's the breadwinner, her partner is unemployed, she will still do 90% of the housework. So this is where it's not just stats. It's like, oh, women kind of have it worse. Like we really are like queens living a little bit like servants. Like this is not right. For obviously we know about the gender pay gap. For every $100 a man makes, a woman makes about 82, and this is even worse for women of color. And so, look, honestly, Bob Marley said it best. He said, we must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. And really, that's what I'm like hoping for with this idea of being a revolutionary woman, is sort of freeing yourself mentally from the systems that are not in service to our soul's highest good, and just unsubscribing from the model of living that we are currently under that is not sustainable. So just really disrupting. And so part of that is living out your Dharma. This is from Deepak, the law of Dharma. Seek your highest self. Discover your unique talents. Ask yourself how you are best suited to serve humanity. Using your unique talents and serving others brings unlimited bliss and abundance. Okay. Preach, Deepak. Okay, so this is part of that whole 120,000 preventable deaths due to stress and the being stressed out and burnt out. I think, oftentimes we think about being stressed out and we just think, oh, we're overworked. And I wanted to present this law of Dharma to you for you to see that it's actually sometimes not about just being overworked. It's oftentimes about doing the wrong kind of work. So like, just imagine if J-Lo listened to her immigrant parents and became an accountant because that was more stable for her. She's like wildly creative. Like she does not belong at a desk. She's like a beastly ass woman. She needs to be doing her shit, But there are so many J-Los out there sitting at a desk job. Just imagine if Martin Luther King Jr. was like, I'm going to become an engineer. Like I'm just going to do the stable thing. No, he was a preacher. He was like so guided by soul and spirit and source. And he did a huge service to the world. So just imagine, if he decided to just do the stable thing. And so I feel like when I'm like talking about this stuff, I always like sound a little bit like a drama queen. But when you look at these statistics, it actually is real dramatic. It's not selfish to follow your dharma or your purpose and want to be happy and want more. It's actually killing us to not go after what we truly desire. So, just something to think about, y'all. Thank you. I love those examples too. You guys, your feedback in the chat is everything to me. Keep it coming. So, number 2, be the female king. Woo! It's like so badass. I just love saying it out loud. So when I say this, I'm really speaking of this autonomy piece. I want to ask you guys, and please do chat me, what would it be like if you moved through the world like a king? Like when I bring this concept to women, they always kind of look at me sideways like, what? King? I'm a queen. Like we're so used to being referred to as queen. And, first off, let me just say, yes, queen, get your queen on. And we need to explore the king archetype too, and I'll tell you why. The reason for this is because when you are the queen, you are inherently second in command. You might have only come into royalty or into power based on who you married. And so your power is and always will be derived from the man that you stand next to. And so what does this mean for you? And this is a rhetorical question, but what does this mean for you if you're single? What does this mean for you if you are inherently just kind of more powerful than your partner, the person you married? Do you need to make yourself smaller to like be queenie with him? Like what does that mean, And so do you see how it can be limiting? And so this is kind of why we need to explore the masculine part of ourselves that is actually the king of her life. Okay? She don't need no one. She badass. And she doesn't need to stand next to anyone to be a badass. She just is. Okay? And so let's go. We'll talk about something fun. Ancient Egypt, you guys. Let's just talk about ancient Egypt, where my people come from. Oh, I see in the chat we have Tina would have a harem of hot husbands. Okay. I like where your head's at. Clearly we have some naughty rebels in this webinar. You guys are amazing. Oh my goodness. So okay, so let's talk about ancient. So in ancient Egypt, women's status was incredibly advanced for any time in the world in history, including the present. So what's insane about this is it was literally 6 million years ago, you guys. I mean, women were able to, they had actually almost more respect. They had more maternal rights. Since maternity was a matter of fact and paternity was a matter of, like it was up for debate, they gave women more rights. And so when you think about that as 6 million years ago versus RBG hooked us up in 1981 with like the Pregnancy Act, where finally employers couldn't fire women when they got pregnant. Like 1981, you guys, that is so recent. So like we've just been living in this warped ass version of life where women have been stripped of their rights and we've been slowly getting back just what's baseline decent. And I just want to plant this seed of ancient Egypt that there was a time where women did not really need approval or permission for anything. Like, look, the 1960s, like the late 1960s was when a single woman could finally open up a bank account in her own name without a man co-signing. Like, really? You fully had to be married and attached to a man to have the right to build wealth in any real way? Like, our shit's fucked up, like real fucked up, okay? So like we are living in a time where we're like climbing out of this like terrible hole. And so I want to talk about ancient Egypt because it's real. It's not a pipe dream. It is a time in life where there were women who didn't need approval or permission for anything. They could fully run their finances like the boss chicks that they were. There were female pharaohs who would take over ruling. They would wear that necklace called a khartouche, like a king, right? Only kings ever wore that necklace, but they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that shit, okay? Hatshepsut had herself crowned as a pharaoh. Cleopatra was known to rule far better than the males of her time. And so I'm just planting that seed of what it could be like, that this isn't a pipe dream. It happened before, it can happen again. But we can only do this if we first become the king of our own lives. So I would love to hear. I know Tina already said that she would have a harem of hot husbands, but for the rest of you, I would love to hear what or how would your life be different if you lived like a king? Like if you moved through your life like a king, never asking for permission, knowing you had full autonomy to do as you pleased, how would your life be different? What would you do different? How would you be different? Chat me, y'all. I really would love to hear that because that is so fun and juicy to me. In a weird way, me getting the Vespa was like a king move. It was me saying like, hey, husband, I love you. And I know you do not approve of this purchase because you're afraid I'm going to be smashed on the side of the road, which is a totally reasonable fear. And yet it's really important to me. And I love you and I don't need approval to live my life how I want. It was like my way of like kind of pulling back my own autonomy in my life. I see Lynn says, my biggest wish is that and then she stopped. I'm like on the edge of my seat. Please complete your sentence, Lynn. I must know. Okay, here we go. Number 3 is stop keeping up with the Joneses. And so when I say stop keeping up with the Joneses, I basically mean choose happiness. Choose happiness. And like sometimes I feel like we don't know what that means. And so I am going to revert to science to give us full clarity, like science data, like what the heck will actually make us happy. So here's things that people think will make them happy is like a good job, lots of money, awesome stuff, true love, a perfect body, all that stuff. And it is really important, first off, let me give you a little like disclaimer, for me to empower women. So nothing that I'm about to say right now is to discourage you from going after your dreams. Ooh, Amini says, if I lived like a king, there would be less pressure on us. Ooh, I like that. Elaborate. Ooh, I would love to hear more about that. Lynn says, my biggest wish is that I would be running my therapy program based on the clientele with whom I work the best, children and families experiencing trauma. Well, that sounds wonderful. Oh my goodness. I would love to support you in this endeavor. Heck yes, woman. And I love that you know that. Once you know, that's huge, that you have a North Star, you know what to go after. So yes, so I want to make sure that as I say these things, that you don't think in any way that I want to discourage you from your ambition. Again, I will say it again, boo. I honor your ambition. But what I want to do is free you from the rat race. So in order to do that, I need to help you get off the hedonic treadmill of going after all the things and figure out what will actually make you happy and just go after those things. So here we go. We'll get off the hamster wheel of life. So here are some stats. After 75,000 bucks a year, money has a negligible effect on your happiness. And this is actually all from the course I took at Yale called The Science of Well-Being. It was like the most researched, most intense, most robust program I've ever taken about the science of happiness. They know what they're talking about, Yale. So I'm just regurgitating what I learned at Yale, okay? And let me just be clear, I did not go to Yale, okay? I took a course that Yale was giving on Coursera. So like, don't start thinking I'm all freaking Ivy League smart, because I am smart, but I'm not Ivy League. Okay. So here we go. After $75,000 a year, money has a negligible effect on your happiness. And so I want to make sure I support you guys in always going after what you want, but balancing going after what you want with actually loving your life. Materialists tend to have lower life satisfaction and more mental health disorders. Very interesting, right? True love. So here's the deal. You get a spike in happiness when you meet your true love 2 years prior to getting married. And then you get a spike in happiness 2 years after getting married, like that honeymoon phase. So you get a 4-year spike in happiness when you meet your soulmate. However, after that 4 years, boo-boo, you go right back to baseline. So wherever you were before you met your partner, bam, that's where you are after those 4 years. And so while it's exciting to meet your soulmate, and I would certainly encourage people to find their one true love and their companion, I also don't want them to wage their entire happiness on it, because you will only get a 4-year spike. Okay. There you go. That's what science says. Being in a weight loss program, actually, according to the research, can be kind of depressing. And there is a book called The How of Happiness. So anyway, so I guess all the point is about that stuff is that shit don't work, okay? So those things are not going to make you happiness. However, there is a book called The How of Happiness by Gretchen Rubin, where it talks about how genes and circumstances actually do not matter as much as we think. that actions, thoughts, and habits equal 40% of our happiness, and all of that is in our control. And so, you really want to focus on things that actually make you happy. These are things that are all in my little cheat sheet. So if you joined my Awaken the Rebel Facebook group, you can download it through there, or you can actually like download it from my website. But basically, I created this happiness cheat sheet where it gives you all the things that science says actually make you happier. One of them is savoring the juicy moments in life, really slowing down to soak them in instead of just like rushing by in our little to-do list way. Gratitude, which we talked about in the beginning. So doing a gratitude journal really does make a difference. Connection with other human beings. And this isn't necessarily like deep connection with like an intimate partner or like best friends. It literally could be like a chat at the coffee shop. Acts of kindness make people happier. Getting good exercise and good sleep make people happier. Meditation makes people happier. And using your strengths make people happier. So that's kind of getting into that like unique strength, life purpose conversation we're having. So a little like data, a little geeked out data is if you are using 4 out of your top 7 strengths, then you are more likely to view your work as a higher calling, which is really cool. So there you have it. There's some juicy stuff on happiness. Number 4, fight like a queen, y'all. Fight like a queen. So look, I like to support my clients in becoming what I like to call the embodied queen. So this is really, it's interesting because fight like a queen is really my way of saying you need to advocate for your needs. And someone who's embodied and does not disempower their own self and their own mindset is willing to just advocate for their needs. It's not a big deal. However, we have, okay, so let's revisit. We talked about the people pleaser and the overachiever. And so those two translate into the princess archetype and the archetype of the dark queen. So the princess is kind of like that people pleaser, okay? Like she wants to be liked. She wants to make other people happy in order to gain favor. That is her MO in life. The dark queen will fight, attack, or leave because she knows that she deserves better, right? So like the dark queen has kind of like a higher energy level, like more energy than the princess. Like she's willing to fight for herself because she knows she deserves it. So she might look more powerful from the outside, right? However, these are both expressions of disempowerment. They are both basically 2 sides of the same coin. They're both destructive forces that come out of a place of disempowerment. And so if someone is the king of their life or the queen of their life, they don't really feel the need to attack, okay? The princess actually can cause herself depression by not expressing what she really wants. So that's kind of like killing yourself. And the dark queen, oh, sorry, I forgot to say resentment is, research links resentment to cancer, and that is why it's actually like killing yourself. And then the dark queen sort of energetically kills others and harms herself in the process. So it's really sort of like an expression of like a chaotic energy. So look, when we were kids, we knew how to advocate for ourselves. We knew how to be persistent. Trust me, my 6-year-old, she knows. Okay. But we've sort of been taught to stop, right? Like to stop asking. And so what I want to support people with, by the way, let me know in the chat which archetype you identify with more, the princess or the dark queen. I would love to hear. But what I want to help my clients with is to really be the embodied queen. So she knows she's empowered. She knows she's the king of her life. And that's just the truth. There's no fight about it. There's no drama about it. She just kind of moves through her life as such. She knows who she is and what she stands for, and she does not have to act aggressively. Tina says the dark queen. I feel you, girl. I've definitely had my dark queen moments. So yeah, if the embodied queen doesn't get something right away, she can be patient because she knows it's just a matter of time. She's not like freaking out, when we talked about the gender pay gap. And, while it's going to be necessary for bosses and HR departments to give us raises, the other part of closing the gender pay gap is that we need to advocate for what we deserve. So I really want to empower us all as women to step it up and require the world to respond to us differently. Either that or go start your business and you won't have a glass ceiling and you can just like do your thing. The world is your oyster. But there have been studies that when women are financially empowered, they spend 80% or they put 80% of their resources back into their families and communities. And there's research that says that women leaders are far more effective than male leaders. And so we definitely need to empower ourselves first, and the world will follow. Yes, that's right. We can be both at times. Oh my gosh, yes. I've definitely had my princess and dark queen moments, no doubt. So again, this is why the world needs women to be empowered. Queen is our birthright. We need to unlearn the subjugation that has been taught to us in order to step up into your queen. You need to unlearn codependency. And I talk a lot about this in my book that's coming out and in the Revolutionary Woman class training that's in the mastermind. So we need to not gain our self-worth by how happy we can make other people. And we need to start to gain our self-worth by how happy we can make ourselves. There's definitely a link between codependency and depression. And yeah, we need to stop that link so that we can not be depressed. How about that? So that's what this is about, you guys. Leadership, being the embodied queen. You know, you are the leader of your family, you're the leader of your life, you're the leader of your job. But the question is, how are you leading? You know what I'm saying? How are we leading, peeps? Okay, number 5, be revolutionary. Find your tribe. So what does that really mean? That means like squad up, get support, okay? Get a coach. I personally do not believe in like willpower. I don't believe in like muscling through stuff. Like I really feel like I often float on the amazing energy of the empowered women that I surround myself with. This is not something I have always done. It's something I have learned to do more and more. The more I've tuned into like what works and what empowers me and what keeps me happy, I've realized this is imperative. This is not like a maybe. This is like a necessary. I've actually had longtime friendships end because I realized, wow, this actually doesn't support me. Like, I don't know why it is, but whenever I talk to this person, I feel very drained. And so I just have learned to honor my intuition and honor those feelings instead of forcing myself to be in a relationship because it was there for a long time. So if you have an amazing squad, you can float on their energy. You know, like when I'm around women who aren't ambitious or women who are not about personal development or growth or learning, I feel super fucking crazy. Like I literally seem like a weirdo with like my big ass goals and dreams and like my weird Vespa. Like it is very easy to invalidate yourself when you are in company that does not validate you. And so in order to, you know, relate to those people, I've kind of minimized my goals, or I laugh at myself like, oh, it's just a joke. Because I can see like I look fucking crazy right now, you know? So, but with my boss chick friends, oh, it's on. It's like, oh, hell yeah, bitch, you getting that. And I feel supported. I feel lit up. I feel energized. I feel seen. I feel inspired. So it's 100% a different experience. We've all heard that Jim Rohn quote, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so when you really have a strong squad, success is like inevitable. All right. So juicy. So a few stats to geek out. Social psychologist from Harvard found that 95% of your success or failure is determined by the people you habitually associate with. Interesting. You are 95% more likely to achieve success if you are being held accountable. So actually, I've now created a program where accountability is like a huge part of it. And you just need to find your tribe of revolutionary women so that they will support you in your growth. You know, you just need to get serious about community and be very deliberate about who you let into your tribe and who you surround yourself with. So make sure to join groups of other women who are on their path to happiness and empowerment and living out their life's purpose. When you invest in yourself, your life changes. When I went to that first seminar, honestly, it costed me like $500. And, you know, it was a big investment at the time and it changed my entire life. This was the seminar I went to that made me realize I wanted to do comedy. And so I like did the crazy thing and like went to become a stand-up comedian. So, you know, and every other retreat and coaching program they sold was more expensive than the last. And I kind of kept doing it because I knew that every time I invested in my growth, my entire life changed. And so, you know, I recently just joined a mastermind program a few months ago and it has completely revolutionized my business. The community is so strong. I'm getting podcast interviews and amazing service providers who are helping me with these ridiculous things I'm doing. Like I'm sure a lot of you found me through a Facebook ad. I don't know how to do Facebook ads, but there's an amazing woman in there and she does, and she helped me out. So that was really cool. So, yeah, you just need to find this community that can sort of support you and up level your life. Even if you're an introvert, you got to do it because it's really crucial to your success. So everything I've taught you today is all like stuff that I've done for myself. And, you know, some of them I've done more recently. You know, me creating this program was my way of creating a sustainable model. This program called Revolutionary Women Mastermind that I will now share with you. I typically kind of like throw retreats and stuff. And in March, COVID sort of shut life down. I threw a comedy camp where I help people do stand up comedy for the first time, but I was just like into live events. And after COVID, the only thing that I did that really made sense. Thank you, Kelly. I'm glad you're loving these tips, Boo. After COVID, the only thing I did that made sense was my sort of virtual one-on-one coaching. And I don't know if y'all are moms or not, but honestly, with two kids on quarantine, I was quickly becoming so exhausted. Time and energy both felt like a precious resource that I was just like using way too much of. So I was thinking to myself, like, what is the move I need to make in my business that will help me feel like this is more of a win-win energy in my own life now, in my own business, or like a more sustainable model, like that Deepak law of Dharma stuff. Like, what do I need to change right now to where I don't feel tired? So something I've always loved is group coaching. I used to do stand-up comedy where I spoke to a group. I love doing the podcast where I speak to an audience. I love doing webinars like this. And so I finally decided to make the jump from one-on-one coaching into a predominantly group coaching format. And, this was for my sanity, clearly, because time and energy were tight. But this was also a dream that I've always wanted to make happen. COVID just sort of made it happen sooner than I was expecting it. And I'm not going to lie, I am not mad at it. Like, honestly, sometimes the unfortunate circumstances in our lives are actually opportunities to bring what we truly want closer to us with more speed. And so before I start telling you about my fabulous program, I will first tell you who it's for. So this is for you if you want to be part of a community where we support each other in winning, if you want to find what lights you up, or maybe you already have, your passion project or your purpose, but you need strategy and support in getting that baby to flourish. You are ready to ditch people-pleasing tendencies so that you can step into your innate power, not someone else's definition of power, but your inner rebel that lets the world know who she is and what she wants. It's time to finally commit to and make significant progress towards your passion, your dream life, and healthy, happy relationships. Now that revolutionizes your entire life, hopefully over the next 3 years or maybe even sooner. You want to design a future that feels good to you and makes a difference in the world. And if that's you, then this is for you. The program is called the Revolutionary Woman Mastermind. And these are some of the pieces of it. So, first we have a membership site where you get the Revolutionary Woman class that I was mentioning a bunch. A lot of the tips I talked about today are gone through in much more depth and detail, so that you can really take what I've talked about today, but honestly, like to a much more intense and helpful level. Like it's a real training where you will really go through some content. You will create a life purpose statement. You will get empowered AF. Like that class is so amazing. So you get the Revolutionary Woman class and that membership site. You get the Cubicle Monkey Revolution, which is something that I created when I was first rebelling against the 9-to-5, and I interviewed a lot of experts to learn, like, how do I do this? And then you get a program called 31 Days of Coaching. So then we also do group coaching every Tuesday with me. So you will get weekly coaching calls with me, and it would be a Zoom, but we would actually all see each other, right? And I get to spend time with each person, just kind of hearing what's going on for them that week and what they need support moving through. And always I leave them more empowered than they came. Like just today we were on one of our calls and one of the people were saying that they really needed like a morning routine. Like they basically now are a freelancer and they're like, their dream has been realized of like working from home and like having their own business, but they're just like working themselves into the ground, which is very normal for newbie entrepreneurs. And, the first, of course, suggestion is like, let's create a routine, like a morning routine. So you can like bookend your day. Like I do this before I work and then I end work and then I, do my night thing. But I was like, no, girl, you need to tap into your 5 years from now, badass boss chick self who's like hella successful. Like, how does she spend her day? So coaching is really, really important to support you in always expanding into the next evolution of yourself. I had a similar conversation with a male client today where like he was kind of asking me like, well, what should I do? Or what do you think? And I said, well, let's tap into like 10 years from now, like, what does he say? Because that person is in there. You know what I mean? Like the like 6-figure version of you is in there. The millionaire version of you is in there. And you really just need to tap into. And I think sometimes that's hard to do on your own. It's easier to do it when you have a coach who's always holding space for the next evolution of yourself. So you get weekly group coaching calls with me. And then every Thursday, you get a mastermind call. And so that's where you will mastermind with your ladies. Okay. So we break everyone up. We get on Zoom, we break everyone up into groups of 4. And it's very structured, where you share a win and a struggle, and then we mastermind, and then you commit. Because like we said, accountability, you are 95% more likely to experience success if you are being held accountable. And so we make sure accountability is a huge part of the program. And then community, you get access to an amazing community of women who won't shame you for being as badass as you are. You know, we connect every day of the week in there, and twice on Sunday. Like, that's just like a free for all where we get to constantly support each other, cheerlead each other, like, post questions like, hey, what should I use to build this website? Just be a resource for each other. So that is all included in the program. It's very exciting. Plus, you get access to those 4 programs that I mentioned, right? So the first one is the Revolutionary Woman class. And that one will revolutionize your life. I mean, I'm not even kidding. The Cubicle Monkey Revolution, where you figure out how to rebel against 9 to 5, if that's your path. The Revolutionary Leader, which is that tool that I talked about in the beginning. And then the 31 Days to Revolutionize Your Life, where I am making a ridiculous face. And please forgive me. I'll never make that face again. So here's a little peek inside. We'll take a look inside. This is it. Here is where you get access to all the trainings. Here's where you can click to see what like the call calendar is and where our Zoom sessions are. It's where you can click to get into the community. And then we also have a library where the calls are recorded, the coach calls and the mastermind calls. So if you missed anything, you can always grab it in the library. And I also organize my podcasts in the library. So oftentimes, people will listen to my podcast and I just put them out and it's no big deal. But for my mastermind peeps, I have organized them into categories. Like, there is a category for women's empowerment, and there is a category for leadership, and there's a category for conflict, because sometimes you might just be going through something and you just need advice on it right then. And so I might refer you to that library of teachings and information. And scroll down a bit. You get access to all those trainings, the library, all the things. Of course, we have our Facebook community. People are already in there getting job offers. Like, this is so cute. Cindy, she's so sweet. You ladies are amazing. I never would have thought to postpone the interviews. And then today she just celebrated with us that she got a new job, which is really going to support her in continuing to be the angel investor in her passion-based business. So things are already happening, and we're cheerleading, and the winds just roll in, y'all. I'm telling you, we just kind of like float on each other's energy. So that's where you have access right here to your whole squad. Me and my team also support you every day, and we do Facebook Lives and other goodies. And so I want to talk a little bit about the Revolutionary Woman class. So first, it's definitely a women's empowerment course. That is what that class is all about. You will get a mindset upgrade. You will create a vision for your life. Like I mentioned earlier, you will write a life purpose statement. You will get a self-esteem upgrade. You will learn much more in depth about the science of happiness, much more in depth about how to fight like a queen, and a lot more about how to be the female king. And so that class is really supportive. If you're in a place where you want to step into your own personal power to revolutionize your life, that's really the one. Cubicle Monkey Revolution. This is an entrepreneurship course. So I interviewed 28 people. I interviewed a man named Jim Britt, who was Tony Robbins' mentor. I interviewed John Lee Dumas, who is now like the godfather of podcasting. Like, he literally coached Timothy Ferriss, the author of 4-Hour Workweek, in how to do his podcast. I think he coached Lewis Howes, who's like got an insane podcast on how to like get his stuff started. So it's just kind of cool that I caught him before he popped. And like, we really got the OG John Lee Dumas. Like, what is this really about, podcast guy? Because man, he just blew up so huge. We have Rhonda Britton, who was a repeat Oprah guest and a best-selling author. We actually have a few best-selling authors in there. And so we have other interviews that focus on creative, corporate, and family. Rachel Luna, she really talked a lot about family. And I remember at the time I didn't have kids. So I was like, wait, why is she talking about family so much? And like, now I have kids and I'm like, oh, I totally get it. So these are all interviews from people who have walked the path, whatever that may look like, right? Like, some were inventors, some were authors, some were entrepreneurs, some were coaches. So it's really gives you kind of a wide variety of information to understand maybe what path would work for you. And then you get 31 days of coaching. So this is a leadership and life purpose course. This is something I did when like last November when I was doing my book launch, I really was putting out 31 days of coaching, was getting all excited about like really doing these coaching videos to support people because obviously one-on-one coaching is expensive. So this will help you up level your manifesting game, help you learn tools to attain any goal. It will definitely encourage you to up level your self-care plan. And through this, you will let go of confusion and other people's expectations. And it's definitely an empowerment upgrade. So the Revolutionary Women Mastermind really brings it all together for you. You know, you have direct access to me and my team. You get happiness training to really support you in the science of happiness so that you can stop keeping up with the Joneses and unsubscribe from ways of living that just actually don't make you happy. You get the weekly group coaching calls, the weekly mastermind calls. So that's 2 touch points a week, which can really be supportive. You get discounts on our retreats and on our one-on-one coaching, and you get a community where you get to hang out with ambitious, amazing, empowered women. You can cancel anytime, but we recommend staying for a minimum of 3 months. But as long as you give us 30 days notice, there's really no long-term commitment. And here are the price. So it's $247 a month to join. Again, you can cancel anytime, or you can do the annual plan, which is $24.97 for the year. So you save $467 that way. And then if you do that, you actually get a bonus executive coaching session with me. So for everyone who does that, you would get a session with me, and my rates just raised so dirty high. It's definitely worth a lot of money. You can basically cancel at any time as long as you give us 30 days notice, but that just means that you can't really come back for 12 months because we just don't want people hopping in and out of the program. And then remember this. So this is a fast action bonus. If anybody joins right now on this webinar, you're going to get this Revolutionary Leader training that I told you about. So we're going to record it live and it's going to go into the back end of the site. So like anyone who joins eventually will get access to this recorded training. However, if you join now, you get to do the training live with me, which means I will be able to actually coach you on creating your personal contract. So I'll be able to support you in making sure that it's customized properly, that it really actually does knock out your limiting beliefs, that it really does support you in moving forward in the most empowered way possible. And so it's a little more special to be able to be on it live. And so again, this is where you create that customized contract. This will help you build confidence, lead your life with, you know, intentionally, you know who you are, you know what you're doing, you let go of confusion, and you really live your life with purpose. So funny. Like, honestly, I created this tool like over a decade ago and I still talk about it. I still use it. It definitely revolutionized my life. And it's one of my favorite things to help clients create because it really stays with them forever. My client Keola and I created one for her like 6 or 7 years ago, and she still uses it to this day and like shouts me out on IG because it changed the way she looks at herself. It raised her self-esteem, helped her gain the confidence to apply to grad school she got in. And so it's just something that can really support you in moving forward powerfully towards the things that you really want. And so that is pretty much it, y'all. This is where you go to sign up, awakentherebel.com/tribe. You can just choose your level and get up in there. And we're just excited to connect with you and revolutionize your life. And so that's pretty much all I have to share. Do you guys have any questions for me? Oh, this is so fun. Lisanne is sharing that she got hired as a sales manager. Oh my gosh, good for you. I love this. This is such good news. Aww. I would love it if you would join, Lisanne. You let me know, girl. So yeah, so I'm just here for Q&A at this point. You guys can shoot anything at me, coach questions, questions about the program. I am here for you as long as you are here for it. But that is pretty much the end of our training, our happiness, even in COVID training. So thank you for being with us, gorgeous humans. And if there is questions, I'll stay on. But if you are wanting to go watch the presidential debate, I will understand that too, boo. Like, you just do what you gotta do, okay? Yes, thank you, Cynthia, for attending. It was so good to have you on. I loved all your comments, so much fun. Yes, Lynn, thank you for coming.